Hey everybody, Phil here with Americankiteboarding.com. We've had an enormous amount of questions and concerns over self-rescuing while hydrofoiling. This is an issue we've found as well, and we have some solutions to it. So we're going to kind of go out there. Chris actually drew the short stick, and he is the one who's going to do the self-rescue for you guys. We're going to videotape it and add some commentary on some of the tips and tricks to get it done with a hydrofoil. You know, having this thing in the water next to you, you kick it with your feet. A lot of times you're out there foiling in really light winds, so there's just a lot of additional aspects that people don't think about. So we're going to hopefully solve some of them for you and answer a lot of your questions. Enjoy the video. Okay, let the self-rescuing madness begin. So Chris is going to release his chicken loop. You can see the kite flag out there. Just like any self-rescue, it's extremely important to make sure that kite's completely flagged out. You can see how far his bar is away, so he's going to be fine. There's no power in that kite. Look at that hydrofoil board go. The first thing that's going to happen with a hydrofoil when you self-rescue is it's going to try and take off on you. So the first step in our self-rescue process is to go and get that board. Once you get it, you can kind of sit on it, cowboy style, between your legs, which gives you both your hands to mess with the kite and line. You can see Chris doing that here. Okay, next thing you're going to do is start walking up that flag line, which is the single line that's attached to your leash. Just like any self-rescue, you're going to want to isolate that line so the kite stays depowered through the self-rescue process. You'll see Chris pull down his chicken line, which is the part that's connected to the chicken loop, and wrap it around that bar 2 or 3 times there to kind of isolate that line, and then he's going to continue wrapping that leash line, the flag line there. With a foil, it's more important to get lines out of the water than without a foil, just because that line's going to get wrapped around the foil mast in the water and just get, you know, even more tangled up than a normal self-rescue. So you want to do your due diligence, take your time, get all that stuff up and out of the water, and it'll make the rest of the process that much easier. Okay, so Chris is going to keep wrapping up his lines here and get to the kite. This is obviously a light wind day out here in the water. The same processes we're going to go over here apply on a windier day. The thing about the foil that's great is, you know, if you are self-rescuing in a true self-rescue, or using the kite as a sail to kind of get back to the beach, you can actually use that foil in the water, just body dragging a little bit, to hold ground and actually get a really good angle going in. We're not going to be able to do that today, so Chris is going to show you one of his methods for light wind self-rescue to kind of get back in. Some other things that we've found, you know, we've done this just about every way you can possibly do, good, bad, and otherwise. The foil in the water is horribly inconvenient. You know, even doing the cowboy style that Chris has here, where he's kind of sitting on it, you'll still kick it with your feet. What we found to be super helpful is to make a point to just not kick your feet and try and relax. You can see how relaxed Chris is. Get that board balanced underneath your butt, and then try to just immobilize your lower half. Take your time and finish the process. If you start kicking the foil, you could get hurt, you know, running a shin into the front of that mast, or you could get really tangled up, you know, if you go too fast. Take your time and do it. Like I just said, when you're going back in, you're going to have a great angle with that foil anyway, so it'll make up for some of the extra time needed to keep everything straight. So Chris is going to finish wrapping up his lines, get to the kite, flip it over, and then continue the self-rescue process. Flipping these big, high aspect kites over is really hard in the water. What Chris figured out is if you get off your board for a second, let it float, you can get better purchase on the kite and get it to flip over a little easier, and that's what he does here. You can see he's going to kind of abandon that board here in a second and then flip the kite over like that. And then once it's flipped, he'll put that board back under his butt right there, first thing he's going to do, and then finish wrapping up the lines there in the leading edge, get them tucked in there, and continue with the self-rescue.
Normal kiteboarding, you very rarely run into a situation where the winds are so bad during a self-rescue that you can't use the sail to actually pull you in. With foiling, it's the exact opposite. At least locally in Houston, we use foiling as a light wind solution. So we're out there usually in mediocre conditions when we're foiling. If the wind drops more than mediocre, it's terrible, and we can't use that sail to pull us in. What Chris has done is he's figured out a way to swim it in with still having control of the kite and the board. So what he's doing here is taking his spreader bar off on one side of his harness so that it can lay flat on his hydrofoil board. He's then going to use his feet to kind of hook the leading edge of that kite, and then he's just going to paddle in with his arms. And it's amazing how fast you can go. You can see him just motor along here. That foil actually helps a little bit, helps keep you up. So pretty cool. I personally use this method many times. It works great. So that's about it as far as self-rescuing with a foil. Keep in mind we only went over the light wind version of things. It's a little bit different in higher winds. You'll be using a smaller kite, which makes it easier, and then you'll be self-rescuing using the sail to kind of pull you in. I think Chris did a great job demonstrating a light wind self-rescue with the foil. Good luck on the water, and hopefully you guys don't have to do this too much.